Hello, guys. I'm Nikki. I will tell you the story of how I got even with my mother-in-law and taught her a good lesson. My husband Leo and I are not very rich, but we are fairly upper class. His father has been deceased long back and left a fortune behind. Sadly, his stupid spendthrift mother, Regina, kept making ridiculous financial decisions and slowly wasted away the money his dad had left. Let me tell you a little about Regina. She was a housewife with a great distaste for women who worked. She has that horrible princess mentality and depends on others for financial help. This woman absolutely despised me because I was a working woman. She always demeaned me and called me names because I worked. Leo and I tried to put her in her place, but she would never stop. Eventually, I just gave up, but I never forgot. The part of my life I am about to tell you happened when I got a second job. You see, I was earning well at first, but needed money for something. I always had a dream of independently owning a house since I grew up poor. That's why, when my husband bought a house with his money, I also started to plan for mine as well. Leo was very supportive because he knew it was my dream. But Regina had a lot of nasty things to say. She said, "I hear that you have taken up a second job, Nikki. How sad for you. It must be hard being poor." Well, I'm not exactly poor, Regina. I'm doing okay. The second job is for other expenses I have been planning to buy. Oh, dear. It's okay to not have tons of money, Nikki. You don't have to lie about it. I understand that not everyone has the luxury of being carefree like me. Mom, you are taking things too far. Nikki is not wanting for money, which I cannot say for you, though. You have been spending money like it's endless. You need to be careful, or else you will land in trouble again. Oh, God, Leo, you don't have to worry about that. I have enough money to pay for the stuff I do. It won't be a problem. You should concentrate on your wife, since she is the one slaving her life away. After Regina said this, Leo's face told her everything she needed to know. It was time for her to shut up. I didn't bother yelling at her because I knew she wouldn't change. Besides, I didn't want to stoop to her level just yet. There would be a better time. Regina was a dumb woman who didn't know how to deal with the consequences of her actions. I say this because she comes back at our door 1 year later to complain and cry about her debt. She said, "I don't know how it got so bad. I had so much money, I didn't think it would make such a big difference." Yes, you did have money, but it wasn't endless. Regina, had you worked a job, you would have received more money every month. Oh, shut up, Nikki. I don't need to hear the job nonsense from you. I haven't worked all my life, and I am not planning to start any time soon. I am above that. There it was again, my mother-in-law's flat-out refusal to work. This woman was truly delusional. I had no idea how she was going to get out of her mess. I saw the numbers, and it was a lot. Regina was in a very bad financial situation, and she still wasn't going to change. Oh, this didn't mean that she forgot to insult me again. Sometimes I feel like I am her mortal enemy. I chose not to grace her with a reply, but Leo was simply not having it. He said, "Why are you yelling at my wife, Mom? What she said is absolutely right. If you had a job, you wouldn't be in this place. Leo's son, I can't work. I'm an old woman. You want your mother to waste her life struggling at a low-paying job? Just imagine how sad that would be." Look, I know you have aged, but you can still join work. I don't want to see you struggling, but I also can't pay you. You have a lot of debt, Mom. I had warned you about it. But I really need the money, Leo. I know I should have listened to you, but what's done is done. Like I said, I cannot help you, Mom. I have just bought this house and I'm still paying the mortgage. I don't have much to give you. Besides, you cannot depend on me every time you run into debt. I have a family now. Regina did not like that at all. She had expected Leo to step up and pull her out of debt like always. But Leo wasn't that stupid anymore. He had run the numbers and seen that he had lost a lot of money paying off Regina's debts. He wasn't going to do that again. Besides, with the mortgage and down payment on the house, he literally didn't have much left. He wasn't going to jeopardize his credit even further by making stupid decisions like helping out Regina. Regina was panicking. She said, "If you don't help me, who will, Leo? I don't know what to do." "Well, there's just one option left. You need to sell the house." "What the hell, Leo? I'm not selling my house. It is your childhood home and has my treasured memories too. I would never be able to afford a house like that again." So it's not about the memories after all. You simply don't want to sell the house because it is a beautiful place that you definitely cannot afford to buy in the future. Too bad you don't have any other option. This is the only way. Regina was super sad, but knew that she didn't have an option. Even Leo was upset that it had come to this point. It was then that I thought how amazing it would be if I really ended up buying her house. I mean, it was Leo's childhood home and he didn't want to let it go. He also couldn't pay for it because he had recently bought a house. If there was anyone who could buy it, that would be me. I wanted to make that purchase. It was indeed a very beautiful house and just in my budget. After Regina left, I talked it over with Leo. He was actually happy that I wanted to get the house. I made my decision and told Leo not to tell his mom. He agreed because he knew there was no way his mom would get a better offer. She wasn't keen on advertising the house because she didn't want to ruin her status. So she was doing it discreetly through an agent. When Regina finally contacted an agent, I went ahead with my plan. I had texted Regina's agent after the very first insult she had thrown at me. My agent contacted her, and the deal was finalized. I was happy, but so was Regina. But my happiness would be long-lasting while hers wouldn't last more than a day. Do you know how I knew Regina was happy? Well, I got an invite from her to a party at her house. You would think Regina would wise up and start planning her finances better. She's not like that. Once she had the money in her account, she immediately went to host a party. She came by the house when Leo wasn't around and said, "Hello, Nikki. I'm glad I could catch you at home. I was half expecting you to be out working a third job on holidays." "Very funny, Regina. As you can see, I don't need a third job yet. Tell me what you want." "It's such a shame you insist on slaving away your life. I guess not everyone can be as lucky as me. Anyway, since I don't need to slave away my hours, I have plenty of time available to host a party. There is one tomorrow. You are invited." I was a little stunned to hear that she was hosting a party. This woman was literally drowning in debt and had to sell her house. When will she learn to handle her expenses better? I was very confused and annoyed. I said, "Wow, what's the occasion, Regina? That was a very out-of-the-blue invitation." "I don't need an occasion to plan a party, Nikki. I have a lot of spare money at the moment, and what's a better way to utilize money than to host a party?" "I see. So there is a party just because you have the money to spare? Good for you." "Honey, I don't have to work to earn, remember? So I have the means to host a party without any occasion or excuse. I hope you can take the day off and join the party. Maybe I will pay you the day's wages if you can't make it." "Thanks for the super generous offer, Regina, but I won't be requiring it. I'm perfectly capable of taking a day off without it hurting my finances." My blood was boiling at the way Regina talked to me. She always had a habit of humiliating me, but this was stretching it too far. On one hand, I was getting pissed off at her for troubling us with her financial problems. On the other hand, I was fuming at her superior attitude and the way she constantly demeaned me, even in a short conversation. But I calmed myself down, knowing that I had some great ammo to use against her. The party was actually a great place where I could get my just revenge against Regina. There was no way I would miss it. I took time off work and managed to join Regina's party. It was a grand kiddie party, so it was girls only. My husband stayed at home, and I was feeling a little nervous because not all of Regina's friends are good people. Thankfully, there were also some women my age who were Leo's friends. They actually liked me, and we hung out together on different occasions. The party was really set up with care, and there were a ton of refreshments available. Regina had spent a lot on this party, which she clearly shouldn't have done due to her horrible finances. Anyway, I was having a good time and telling some people about my work when Regina suddenly joined us and said, "Why are you guys listening to Nikki harp on about her jobs? We don't bother with working slaves like her. I only invite her because she's my daughter-in-law. I doubt she would ever be able to reach my level in this lifetime." "I think you are being unnecessarily rude, Regina. A lot of women work and earn good money for themselves. I wanted to be independent and financially stable. That's why I am working so hard. Being a working woman doesn't make any woman less respectable." "A queen doesn't need to work, but peasants do. It's such a shame that my son ended up marrying a broke girl like you, Nikki. He should have married an heiress like me. That way they would have had a great life without having to worry about money." "Oh, really, Regina? I wonder what heiress or queen has to sell her own house to make ends meet." "What? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying." "You don't know, Regina? How is that possible? Your agent said that he listed the house for you. Apparently you are so behind on credit card payments that the bank was about to repossess your house, so you sold it to make some profit off it." Everyone in the room was stunned. They had no idea that Regina was in such a dire situation. She never let anyone know because of shame and embarrassment. In high societies, degrading your lifestyle or selling your important assets means that you are becoming poor. That's why Regina's house was sold in secret, and she never told anyone about it. She was hosting these luxury parties from the proceeds of the sale. Now, the truth was out in the open. She was being judged by her so-called friends. I could see the judgment in their eyes. Over the years, I had found these judgmental states offensive, but today I found it extremely amusing. Regina was definitely not enjoying those looks. She herself looked a little anxious after being caught, but she straightened up and said, "What nonsense are you spewing, Nikki? This house is still mine. I am not a peasant like you. And who can't keep a roof over her head with one job? I am rich and don't need to sell my house for money." "Is that so, Regina? Then tell me something. How was I able to buy your house from your real estate agent?" "What? What are you talking about? You bought my house?" "Yes, Regina, since it wasn't a public listing. Not everyone knew about it, but I did. And well, this peasant just bought your house, Regina." Regina looked shocked. She had completely forgotten the party that moment. She looked at me dumbfounded and was shaking. She couldn't believe her ears. She couldn't believe that someone like me was now the owner of her precious house. She had tears in her eyes, but said, "No, no, no, that is impossible. You did not buy the house. You did not buy my freaking house." "Yes, I did, Regina. You signed the documents today. I guess you didn't even check the name of the new owner. Well, that was unfortunate, but yeah, I have your house under my name now." "I don't believe it. You cannot afford a house. You just can't." "Oh, you poor thing. You must be so confused. Well, I work 2 jobs like you keep saying. Trust me, I have a lot of money. But I can't say the same for you." "Well, one house is gone, but that's even better for me. Now I have more money. I did sell it for a handsome amount. Remember that you have a ton of credit card bills and need to repay the bank. You will hardly have anything left. When that money's gone, you won't be able to throw these lavish parties anymore. What a shame. Anyhow, Even if you managed to get the money, you definitely wouldn't be hosting it here because I will be kicking you out soon. Regina absolutely turned pale when I said that. Yes, I had truly told her that I was going to kick her out. She hadn't seen this coming. I don't know what she was thinking, though. She hadn't exactly stopped to think what would happen when the new owners would finally take over the house. That was clear to me the last time we spoke. Anyway, the contract already stated that the previous owner would empty out the house in a month. She would be forced to adhere to that. Regina, however, was determined to stay. She said, "That will never happen. This is my house. I will not leave this place." "You have signed a contract, Regina. I can sue you if you don't move out by the date you had set in the contract." "I will talk to my son. He will not let you kick me out of my own house." "God, you keep forgetting, Regina, this is not your home. This is my home now. Although I might rent it out for some extra income. Guess it's time for the peasant to leave her second job and finally live like a queen." Regina looked horrified when I used her own words against her. She knew that I had everything planned out. I was adamant that she wouldn't be living in the house anymore. After I said that, the party was a mess. Some people laughed while others stayed back for the drama, but then I had had enough of my shameless mother-in-law. I gathered my things and simply left, reminding her again that her moving date was getting close. Regina was now crying while some of her friends were consoling her awkwardly. On my way back home, a friend of Leo's rode home with me. I needed to tell Leo what happened at the party and needed someone who would act as a witness. Anyway, I got home, talked to my husband, my friend explained what happened, and we got down to business. Surprisingly, my husband agreed with my decision. He was sick and tired of his mom being a rude and nasty mother-in-law. Leo was at the end of his wits, and he didn't want to deal with his stupid mother anymore. I should also add that Leo was pissed about Regina's awful spending habits. When he compared her to me, it was clear to him that Regina had no business insulting me. Plus, he knew that he needed to stand up for me and do something because his mom wasn't going to change. Overall, our conversation went very well. It was about 3 weeks later that Regina was at the house Leo and I were staying in. She looked like she hadn't slept in a while and her eyes were puffy. We let her in because we had been avoiding her calls for a while now. We needed to talk to her to set her straight. Leo looked glum, and I think that bothered Regina a lot. She said, "Leo, you know that your wife has bought my house. She is threatening to kick me out of my home. You need to do something." "What do you expect me to do, Mom? This is her property, so she is the only one who gets a say. Even if Nikki hadn't bought the home, someone else would have. And they definitely would have wanted you out. Had you even planned anything for that?" "Well, I was hoping that I could stay here with you guys." "And when did we discuss this, Mom? When did you tell me that you planned to stay here with us? Did I ever agree to that?" "I didn't tell you because I didn't have to. I'm your mother, so you will let me stay here. I know you won't turn your mother away when she's in trouble." "So you wanted to blackmail me and my wife to house you here for free? What about bills? Did you expect us to pay for that too?" "Of course you did. You have some nerve insulting my hard-working wife when all you do is plan to leech off people." Leo's tone and his words shocked Regina more than anything else that had happened so far. She hadn't expected her own son to turn against her so soon. She was literally shaking and started to cry. Her tears never bothered me before, but now it didn't bother Leo either. Regina said in a sad voice, "Leo, why are you speaking to me like that? What have I ever done to deserve this behavior from you?" "You don't know what you have done? Should I list it for you, Mom? First, you have always depended on me to solve the financial problems in your life that you had intentionally created. Then you land yourself in a big debt again and end up selling your home. And the worst of them all, You constantly keep insulting my wife, who has done nothing wrong to deserve your horrible behavior. Her only crime, according to you, was to be a hard-working woman. Leo, I know I have been a nuisance, but what can I do? I'm a housewife and don't have any income. That is entirely your fault, Mom. Your princess attitude never made you stop and think about earning money for yourself. You depended on everyone around you to pull you out of your mess. First it was Dad and then me. And don't think I didn't notice how you completely ignore the topic of insulting my wife. I believe Nikki deserves an apology from you. What? You want me to apologize to Nikki? Leo didn't say anything, but his look said everything that was necessary. Regina gulped hard and was fidgeting with her hands. The idea of apologizing to a mere peasant like me was humiliating for her. But she had no way to skip this part. She knew she was in trouble and didn't want to anger us any more. She soberly said, "All right then, Nikki, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I promise it won't happen again in the future." Nice apology, Regina, but I reject it. It means nothing to me. I know that you have learned nothing. Oh, come on, Leo. See, I apologize to your wife. It is not my fault that she's not accepting my apology. So when can I move in here? You are not moving here, Mom. This house is only for me and Nikki. You won't even be a guest here anymore. You lost that right. Well then, can I stay at my house like I always had? I laughed when Regina said that. She really expected me to just flip and pretend that everything was all right. She was so out of touch with reality that she didn't understand what consequences meant for people. I stopped laughing and said, "Oh, hell no, Regina. You will never stay at my house either. Like I said, I will be renting it out. I won't even keep you there as a tenant." But if you two don't house me, where will I go? I have nowhere else to go." Well then, you better start looking for a job now. I bet 2 jobs will be enough to help you save money for rent and bills. What? You want me to go to work? How else do you think you can survive, Mom? Living in this world requires money, which you don't have. You heard my wife. You better start looking for jobs. I think we're done here. You can see yourself out. Regina was at a loss for words. She was crying and begging us not to do this to her. She was acting like getting a job would be the end of the world for her. I could understand a little. Regina never had a job in her whole life. At this age, with 0 experience, I had my doubts that she would land a good job. I wasn't being unrealistic when I said that she would need 2 jobs. The renting market here is crazy even today. Anyway, Regina kept crying, but we managed to make her get out. I will tell you briefly what happened after Regina left. She still tried to get us to change our minds. When it became that we wouldn't, she tried to recruit her family into guilting us. Most of them didn't bat an eye, but we did get some hate from some family. That was the last straw for us, and Leo informed Regina that she shouldn't bother contacting us. We were done with her. Regina then had to move in with family members for a while. Well then, she got kicked out of all those places. Who would house a woman who didn't earn but loved to spend like she owned a gold mine? The family got tired of her soon. In the end, she was actually forced to get 2 jobs to rent an apartment. It is small and cramped, but Regina can't do better at the moment. We are still in no contact with her and are living happily. The house was a great investment for me, and I got a good amount from renting it out. I quit my second job since I no longer needed it. I have also cut down on my work hours and am enjoying my life better. My hard work did pay off, and now I can relax a bit. But I can't say that for my princess mother-in-law. I guess karma does come after you in the end. Anyway, she's none of my concern anymore. But the events that happened still make me smile at times.